In big league bass fishing, versatility, the ability to execute multiple angling approaches in ever-changing conditions effectively, is the difference between being a champion and finishing middle of the road. Crankbaits, spinnerbaits, topwater, flipping, and pitching all play to an individual's strength. But savvy anglers know you can't count on a single technique to compete. Versatility is the key to success, and nowhere does that fact ring truer than here and now at the FLW Series on Old Hickory.
About that, baby, yes!
That's what I'm talking about!
Yes!
Look at that bad boy. Oh, yeah!
Yeah!
Glory Tucker, $500,000 record.
Welcome to Old Hickory Reservoir in Gallatin, Tennessee, just a stone's throw from Nashville, the country music capital of the world, a place where down-home hospitality and bass fishing are a traditional lifestyle. Hello, everyone. I'm Keith Leibowitz, along with Chris Jones. Welcome to the third stop of the $6.5 million Walmart FLW Series. We are here where some of the biggest homes from some of the biggest names in country music are lining the shores here on Old Hickory.
And Keith, we also have the biggest names in professional fishing here on Old Hickory this week. This event, dramatically different than the first two events that were held on Lake Lanier and Lake Cumberland, both classic pre-spawn tournaments on Highland impoundments. This is a riverine reservoir.
Old Hickory was impounded in 1952. It filled up in 56 and 57. The old original river channel formed a triple basin in the middle to lower end of the lake. Basically what you've got is a secondary channel on each side of the reservoir and then the main channel in the center. On the old river humps, there are structure, cuts, gravel bars, ditches, all types of structure all up and down the lake. Basically, Old Hickory has three stages. You've got your upper, the upper part of the lake, which is river. There's very few tributaries. What tributaries there are, above here are relatively small. You're fishing basically, the river itself. When you get out in the middle section of the lake, that's a transitional period where it goes from the river itself into the reservoir. This lake is backwards to the majority of your lakes because they bed downriver first, midsection second, and then they'll bed last up the river. And that's because of the cold water. Right now we've got 75 to 80 degree water here in the midsection of the lake. It's in the lower 80s in the lower section of the lake, and we've still got water that's in the 50s in the upper end of the lake.
The first two FLW Series events, we had Lake Cumberland and Lake Lanier. They both had natural rivers flowing into them. Here on Old Hickory, this is more of a river reservoir or riverine reservoir. And the lake above this, Cordell Hull, has water that flows out of it. But it flows out on a schedule. It flows out colder because it comes from the bottom of the reservoir. And so your temperature variations in this lake, as well as your water color variations, are much greater than the two previous events. This allows for shallow water patterns and deep water patterns all at the same time. It allows us to fish to our strengths however we choose to. In this case, this water is over 80 degrees, and it just got there. It was 65 degrees a week and a half ago. And so these fish are really in a big change right now. They're in a big major transition trying to move out deep. But if you know where the river current is and you pay attention to the current, you can still fish for shallow, which is what a lot of people are doing. That's my favorite way to fish.
But yeah, we fished a lot of reservoirs, but this one here is a little different. It's got more of a current situation, and and I'm really keying on that. Looking at these open water flats, which is what I'm going to spend 90% of my time fishing. I'm looking at that current and seeing little breaks in the current, throwing my jig up behind that break and letting it wash down behind these little objects. And I mean, it's definitely the key. It's going to come down, for me, being in the right place at the right time. When I see the current moving, I need to know where I need to go and get there in a hurry and take advantage of it, because those fish feed when the current.
The neat thing about Old Hickory, which is a river lake, which current is going to dictate how the fishing goes pretty much, but you're kind of at the mercy of the Corps of Engineers when they're going to generate. So You can be on some fish pretty good if they're pulling water and the water stops and the fish kind of just shut off. So you kind of gamble. You need to know when the current's going to start pulling. Definitely makes it easier to catch them, and you need to be in your prime spots when the water starts moving.
So many options, so many variables. How do you take a system as complex as Old Hickory and put together a winning game plan? When FLW Outdoors comes back, we'll get the pros' perspective for a winning strategy. Don't go away. Still building legends one at a time. National Guard, you can. Welcome back to the Walmart FLW Series on Old Hickory Reservoir. This complex reservoir presents a wide variety of challenges. So how do FLW touring pros put the pieces of this angling puzzle together?
Big bass love big topwater bait.
Worms under docks.
Slinging at wood.
Nothing but big uns.
Nasty log jams.
Let's crank it up. I love sticks.
Big worms over the weed flats.
Bass love swim baits, especially giant ones like this from Old Hickory.
Well, there's a mixed bag of patterns for you, and likely every one of those tactics is as good a bet as the next. But it's the angler who puts together the right strategy at the right time who's going to be walking off with all the marbles.
If you're fishing for a championship or to qualify for next year, you have to be versatile. If you're going for a win, you can be one-dimensional, and you can have a strength and fish that strength at every event, but you're not going to do that well. I mean, you may hit a home run 1 out of 5 or 6 events. The rest of them, you're going to be mediocre to poor.
People that are successful day in, day out typically notice things different. Structure in the water, a little different presentation, a different way to present the bait. You know, the current may be a factor, the sun may be the factor, the wind. I mean, there's a lot of things you got to put into consideration when you go out and try to break down a lake.
FLW touring pros are challenged by different bodies of water each week. Reading the water quickly, locating good fish, and then getting them to bite are keys to success. But you can't catch them till you find them. And one of the crucial stepping stones in this process is understanding the seasonal movements of bass, spawning, available forage, and environmental factors like cover and water temperature determine fish location on a grand scale. By comparison, weather, water conditions, and even fishing pressure all affect fish location and activity levels on a more localized basis, like individual brush strokes composing the big picture. Once the pros find general areas of bass activity, they interpret fish depth, mood, and use of cover to choose the most efficient presentations to catch them. This adaptation requires versatility, the ability to present different lures in different conditions. Whether bass are located in weeds, wood, timber, rocks, or across clean bottoms, pros must pick the right lures for the job. Lures are tools, and there are so many lures and so little time to fine-tune their choices. Anglers observe bass behavior, form theories, and then test them, refine them, or throw them out the window. And even then, during the heat of battle, pros must adapt to subtle changes in the fish's mood in order to remain effective. Intangibles like intuition and confidence guide their evolving strategies and ultimately determine how many checks they catch. So what does it take to catch fish like an FLW pro? The magic equation reads something like knowledge plus experience plus versatility plus adaptability plus, of course, a little luck equals big bass and big money.
There's one thing that I learned a long time ago is that you always want to find a peaking pattern during the tournament. You don't want to have a peaking pattern during practice because we all know that patterns don't last a long time. And that's what happens to most guys is they get on a pattern in practice and they think that it's going to last throughout the tournament, and it doesn't. And what your practice should do is to teach you and to help you learn about what the pattern's going to be during the tournament. And that's the toughest part. Key thing is to always try and establish your pattern at its strongest point, and that would be during the tournament. Oh yeah. Come on, baby, this is a keeper.
The electronics, my Lowrance electronics have been a key to my success so far. I'm keying in on this wood cover, that's right along the break line of the river. And most guys are fishing the same flat that I'm fishing, and they're up there just keying on the visible cover. And it's really getting beat to death, and I can come right behind them, and I'm actually fishing where their boat is sitting. And I'm using that electronics, looking down at it all the time, looking for that wood and that break line, and that wood's hanging out into the river, and those fish suspend around it, just waiting for a ball of bait to come down the river with the current.
The thing that I've learned about tournament fishing in the last 7 years is you have to have confidence. I mean, just because you have a medium stringer one day doesn't mean you're going to have a bad stringer the next day. A lake like Old Hickory, which is not known for producing huge stringers of bass every day, is an easy lake to come back on, so your decisions are critical. Do you go out, swing for the fence every day, and hope you catch a big sack one day and even out, or do you try to go middle of the road? Tough choices. Personally, I swing for the fence every day.
Chris, when we come back, it's full tilt competition, and some definite patterns will emerge. Stick around. We'll be back with more FLW Outdoors right after this. Welcome back to the Walmart FLW Series here on Old Hickory Lake. Keith Leibowitz along with Chris Jones. And Chris, it is not just the pros that are fishing for the big bucks here.
Absolutely not, Keith. We have the greatest co-anglers in the world, and there's fierce competition on the co-angler side. They're competing for a top prize of $20,000 and also have the opportunity to learn the best techniques and strategies from the greatest pros in our sport.
One of the hottest co-anglers this season is Kevin Kuhn, who's been burning up the water and is the current points leader on the co-angler side. Kevin won it at Lake Lanier and finished 4th at Cumberland. We caught up with Kevin to get his thoughts on fishing as a co-angler.
Well, when you come into fish as a co-angler, you always got to go in. You always go into it to learn. You know, you're fishing with the best fishermen in the world, and it's, you know, a great opportunity to be on the water with these guys. You know, they're the best at what they do, and you're always learning things from them. Every guy you draw out with is going to do something a little different, and you got to be able to adapt a little bit to it. You know, and I've learned of this more than I could even explain from all of them.
Many of today's hottest pros get their start as co-anglers. Kellogg's pro Kim Bain made the leap from co to pro and offered her feelings on the experience.
Well, I fished on the co-angler side for 3 years, and I think a lot of my success as a co-angler was it was important for me to be versatile, to be prepared for anything, to have a good talk to my pro partner and see what he was doing. So if he was fishing a spinnerbait and really burning the bank, then I would need to choose a lure that would be able to be fished fast. And if he was fishing slow and methodically, that was awesome for a co-angler because you get to fish a lot of finesse tactics, and that's very successful, like drop shot, split shot, Carolina rig. They're all great co-angler baits.
Whether you're a co or a pro, competition on this level demands complete focus, and this field is flooded with fishing talent. Each and every one of these anglers is giving it their best run for the money.
And because Old Hickory is so diverse, the options are literally wide open. Wood, gator grass, humps, flats, docks, you name it, Old Hickory's got it. And they all hold fish. Anglers will have ample opportunity to fish their strong suits, but the winner will be the one who can think, adapt, and stay on top of the peak bite throughout the tournament. It's a crapshoot at this point. We just have to wait for the fish to hit the scales to see what winning pattern shakes out.
The action has been as hot as the Tennessee weather, with plenty of big fish hitting the tanks. And unlike the spotted bass at Lanier or the smallmouth fight at Cumberland, Old Hickory has been kicking out some huge largemouth.
Pros like Terry Baxay, J.T. Kinney, Luke Clausen, and Clark Winlet are all showing off some real dandies. But the man of the hour is field and stream pro Michael Brown, who's been beating the banks with topwaters and shallow diving crankbaits.
I caught the biggest fish I had around 12:30. I was sort of getting nervous. I wasn't going to do as well as I did, and just kept pounding and pounding and kept my head in it, and the big fish bit.
So after 2 days of fierce competition, the race is tight, with less than 3 pounds separating the first 10 places. That means just one good fish could swing this competition in virtually any direction. When we come back, we'll see who makes the top 10 cut and who is crowned the co-angler champion. All that more when FLW Outdoors returns. Yes. Welcome back to the Walmart FLW Series from Tennessee's beautiful Old Hickory Reservoir. This is day 3, when 200 of the top bass pro anglers in the world. for 10 spots on the final day and a chance at $100,000. And today, one co-angler will walk away with $20,000 in cash. Let's go to the competition with Day 2 leader, Field and Stream Pro, Michael Brown.
Yes. Keith, he's tearing them up, cranking shallow banks with overhead cover. He's perfectly working the narrow strike zone over submerged wood.
Gosh, there's a good one. Hurry, 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 hurry. Yes!
Yeah, Michael's looking good for a quick limit, and if he keeps up this pace, he's gonna have a shot at making that top 10 cut.
Oh, he dunked it. That would have been his 4th fish, and that could cost him.
Kellen's pro Clark Wendlandt is looking for his 2nd consecutive top 10 appearance in the FLW Series, but I don't know if these smaller marina fish are gonna get it done for him.
And that's the whole deal, Keith. He's popping plenty of fish, but are they gonna make the weight? Clark's gotta be wondering if the big fish have moved to deeper water.
Here's Chevy pro Luke Clausen. He also made the top 10 at Cumberland, and like Wendlandt, started the day working docks.
I think that one will keep. Finally!
Luke's got a small keeper, but a competitor like Clausen has got to be racking his brain over where the big fish are today.
Geez, another 13-incher, I think. Whoa, I need to go up a long ways from that.
Luke switches from his dock pattern to pitching banks, and it seems to be paying off.
You've got to adapt. You've got to change with the conditions, and that's what makes Luke such a fierce competitor. His ability to adapt is already paying off.
That's kind of neat. I get a couple more like that, I get a fish tomorrow. That's 9:30. I surely would think I could catch another one throughout the rest of the day. Got a lot of time ahead of me. I need to catch some big ones, but I was worried about catching 5 today, so I'm full right now, happy with. Good. That's a keeper, though, I'm pretty sure. That'll be 5.
Clausen's put 4 more in the box since he made his move, and now he's got all day to upgrade.
The competition is red hot on the co-angler side as well. It's not just the pros putting fish in the boat. We'll be seeing plenty of good limits at the scales.
It's been an exciting day 3, Chris, and speaking of the scales, let's head there right now to find out which co-angler is going to walk away with 20 grand and which pros are going to make the top 10 cut.
And those top 10 will be shooting it out for the $100,000 first place prize. Now that's some serious change, Keith.
But that's not all. The Walmart FLW Series pays out a maximum of $10,000 all the way down to 50th place. All in all, that's $6.5 million in prize money for the whole series. The co-angler race is tight, with Alabama's Randy Duncan currently in the lead. But Tyson Pro staffer Pamela Wood has stepped up with a big one that's making Randy very nervous.
You're gonna need about 7 pounds. That's it. All she needs is 7 pounds. Actually, she needs about 20 pounds. She's got 6 pounds, 4 ounces. Your champion. Give it up. A great tournament. Randy will walk away for $20,000. Killing Alabama.
Randy Duncan is our co-angler champion. He'll take home $20,000 and a boatload of bragging rights.
On the pro side, Ranger Pro Luke Clausen, Kellogg's Pro Clark Wendlandt, and Bounty Basics Pro Jacob Poroznik have all made back-to-back top 10 cuts. But it's Tennessee native Sam Lashlee that's in the lead. It's interesting that almost all of the top 10 anglers are fishing shallow structure and finding success. But Sam's been out in deep water working fish that are starting to set up in their summer locations.
Don't go away. We'll be back with final day tournament action on FLW Outdoors right after this. Walmart FLW Series on Old Hickory in Gallatin, Tennessee. we've whittled the field from 200 down to 10, vying for the top prize of $100,000. And we have some repeat performances here in our top 10, Chris.
Absolutely, Keith. We have Chevy Pro Luke Clausen back in the top 10 this week, along with Kellogg's Pro Clark Wendlandt and Bounty Basics Pro Jacob Porosnik. They all made the last cut on Lake Cumberland, back in the top 10 here at Old Hickory. And the way these 10 guys have been catching fish, we're looking for an exciting weigh-in at the Walmart later today.
Starting day 4 in first place, Sam Lashlee hunkers in for a long run downriver to his deep water bite. On the other hand, Bounty Basic Pro Jacob Porosnik has already reached his first spot, bridge pilings within sight of takeoff, and immediately Jacob is on fish.
Come here, baby. Now that's the way to start the morning, baby. Right there. How about that, baby? Yes.
After scoring at the bridge, Porosnik moves to the adjacent bank. Again, just a short distance from the takeoff site where it looks like he's on his way to an early morning limit.
Come here, baby. Atta boy.
Next, it's Swab Pro Art Berry, and he's got no shortage of action fishing shallow cover.
Come on, Lord. Oh, please. Oh, come on. Oh, yes. Thank you, Lord. That's how we get started right there. He's a little guy. We got to measure and be sure he's a keeper, but I think he is.
In a matter of minutes, Art has his first keeper in the boat, and it doesn't take long for number 2.
Oh, yeah. Come on, baby. This is a keeper. This is a good one. Stay hooked. Stay hooked. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. Come to daddy. Yeah, baby. That's what I'm talking about right there.
And there's number 3. Chris, it's only been an hour and Barry is into him.
There we go, baby. There we go. Now we're moving. Now we're going somewhere.
The bite is on, Keith, and bass are busting bait fish on the surface within casting distance.
Oh my God, did you see that boil? Oh my gosh. He hit it. Come on, baby. Oh my God. Those are big ones right there.
Art Berry is having a tough time hooking up. We'll be back in a bit to see how Art's doing, but right now, let's look in on day 3 leader, Sam Lashlee.
Lashlee has a solid lead after day 3. Sticking with the pattern that got him there, he's targeting big fish on the main river channel near the dam. Sam is making precise casts and working jigs over very specific spots, and the pattern seems to be holding.
No, he'll keep. Thank you. Thank you, Lord. And when you make a cast to catch a fish on a ledge, you want to make sure that you throw it exactly in the same place again, exactly, because they'll be wadded up in one place.
Sam is on schooling fish. Immediately after catching one, he hooks another.
Oh, man. Busting your favorite rod is a real bummer.
That kind of thing can mess up your mind if you're not careful, Chris. And with stakes this high, you don't need this to happen.
Sam casts back to precisely the same spot, and he hooks up again. This time, it's a giant.
Oh, I tried to lift him in the boat. I knew better than that. I deserve that. Oh, I deserve that. I didn't know whether to reach down and grab the net, reach down and grab the fish. That was a big one. This was 5.5 pounds.
Oh, what a heartbreaker. That has got to hurt, especially when you realize that could have been a $100,000 fish. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with more gut-wrenching action from Old Hickory right after this. By day's end, someone will be leaving $100,000 richer. Let's check in on Kellogg's Pro Clark Wendlandt, who's sticking to his stock pattern.
Keith, the marina bite has been strong for Clark all week, and it looks like it's on fire today. He's pitching spinnerbaits and jerks along the docks, and he's virtually vacuuming up all these active fish. It's still early, and he's well on his way to his limit.
This is Clark's second top 10 in a row. He really seems to have a gift for locating active biters and staying on top of them as they move.
That's for sure, Keith. Clark's plan of attack on each lake is very systematic and efficient. And to make him an even tougher competitor, his execution is nearly flawless.
I feel like if I can just decide that I'm just going to take whatever whim hits me and just do that then I can do pretty well.
FLW pros like Clark fish hard day in and day out, chalking up countless hours on the water each year. The sheer physical demand is grueling, both on the angler and on the equipment. That's why these guys go to such pains to keep their gear in top running condition.
Keith, with the amount of time that these guys spend on the water and the velocity that these boats are traveling at, things are bound to happen from time to time.
This is true, Chris, and just like in the sport of NASCAR, where the pit crews usually determine the winner, the same can be the case here in the sport of bass fishing. For more on what keeps the FLW touring pros up and running at all times, we turn to the pages of FLW Outdoors magazine.
Yeah, service crews that accompany us out here on the trail are just invaluable. I mean, we have issues. I mean, mechanical things come up, things break, and when they do, they're right there to take care of us. At the last event, Lake Cumberland, a lot of floating debris in the water. I did some damage in my power head. I overheated the motor, and they kept me running. I didn't lose any time. I made it back every day. And they're just invaluable. Just appreciate them being out here very, very much.
These guys that come here to help us anglers when we have problems with our outboards and stuff or anything on our boat is kind of behind-the-scene guys that are very, very important to the anglers. We're out here trying to make a living fishing, and if we have a problem, we've got all the major sponsors have support teams that show up here. Normally, they can fix it right here on the spot. We're back on the water with very, very minimal lost time, and it's not only from me, but from all the anglers. It's so important to have these guys here. They really do a great job.
For the most current angling information and more fantastic stories, be sure to log on to FLWOutdoors.com and subscribe to FLW Outdoors magazine. Now let's get back to the tournament action. Chevy Pro Woo Daves is putting bass in the boat, but he's going to have to find some bigger fish to make it to the top.
Berkeley Pro David Walker's on good fish as well, pitching isolated wood and milfoil. If his pattern holds, these fish could certainly put him in contention.
Did you see how fast that fish was? Yes. Gosh, he did.
And here's Yamaha Pro Matt Herron. He started the day in 7th place, and he's got no shortage of action fishing shallow cover. But just like the rest of the field, he has got to step it up a bit.
This one's more like it, Keith. If he can keep upgrading with fish this size, he'll have a pretty fair shot at the top spot and $100 grand.
No question about it, Chris. Everybody seems to be on fish, and limits should not be a problem for anyone. But it's going to be all about the weight. Every ounce counts.
Upgrade, upgrade, upgrade. The fatter the sack of Bronco largemouth, the closer you get to 100,000 bucks.
Aside from Sam Lashlee, the entire field is fishing shallow cover, and all the fish seem to be running about the same size. So, will this tournament be won by mere ounces, or will somebody take a gamble and go searching for those hard-to-find Old Hickory hogs?
Meanwhile, Bounty Basics Pro Jacob Poroznik hasn't left sight of the takeoff all day. And for good reason. It's been fish after fish after fish for him today, and he's been steadily upgrading all along.
It's a horse race, Chris, and it's all coming right down to the wire. Don't go away. When we come back, more action on the final day from Old Hickory. Day 3 is Yamaha Pro Sam Lashlee, and earlier we saw him dump what could have been a $100,000 fish. Like the rest of the field, Sam's getting bit, but the question still remains, will that early mistake cost him the crown?
Keith, Lashlee is fishing a much different pattern than the rest of the field. While the other 9 contenders are working shallow, Sam is pounding deep humps and ledges in the main river channel. Now, he can't actually see these spots, but he's found a pattern intercepting fish just beginning to set up on traditional summertime locations. And he's got them wired.
I said I was expecting to get a bite, but I was hoping to get a 5-pound bite. Where are the big ones? Oh, good one. That's gonna be if I can get him in the boat. That's my limit fish. Thank you, Lord. Think he's just gonna make it. That's a limit.
He's got his limit, Chris, but the deep water bite isn't producing the big fish it was earlier.
He switched from the jig to a giant worm. Maybe that'll help trigger the big ones he knows are down there.
That's another thing. I'm not scared to change baits. They're not biting. I know the fish are there. And I'm just gonna keep changing baits. There he is, first cast at the big worm. First cast. Can you believe it?
There's an upgrade fish right off the bat. Versatility strikes again.
I'll take him. Thank you, Lord.
Field and Stream Pro Michael Brown is cranking banks, and he's got some serious action going.
It's a pattern that's held up for him well, Keith. He started off this morning in second place, and with a good limit here, Michael's got a real shot at the top spot. And these shallow fish are aggressive. The trick is going to be to stick a big one.
I don't know. God. I have worked hard for those 5 fish today, buddy.
Luke Clausen is one of the toughest competitors in bass fishing, and he's one of the few pros to have won the FLW Tour Championship and the Bassmaster Classic. We took a behind-the-scenes look to find out where this fierce competitor gets his edge.
I really come into a tournament not knowing how I'm going to catch him and have no clue. And really feeling like you don't know anything, going with such an open mind probably helps me more than anything. Really, I don't have a lot of nerves. People call me Cool Hand Luke, and they say you're ice cold. You know, I don't get excited and I don't get down after breaking a fish off or something like that. I'm really even-keeled. You know, that helps me a lot in a tournament situation. That's probably my biggest mental strength. And as far as fishing goes, I'm probably better with a spinning rod, made more money with a spinning rod finesse fishing than I have any other way. Where I'm at right now, I feel totally fortunate to win 2 major events like that. It's something that I never would have expected. When I came out here a couple years ago and started fishing out here, I never would have thought I would have won the Bassmasters Classic and the FLW Championship. Everybody asks, what are your goals now? An Angler of the Year title would just be huge to me. If I could win something like that, it would definitely help my confidence a lot, for one, and it would just be a huge accomplishment to me. It'd be a lot more important to me than winning either championship.
That's the fish we need right there. So I'm talking about a little momentum. We get one more of those. You boys better watch out.
How amazing for such a successful tournament angler to be so laid back and humble at this level. Luke is truly an amazing individual and competitor. Now back to day 3 leader, Yamaha Pro Sam Lashlee. He's been on the deep water bite all week, and he's been absolutely flawless, but he's been struggling with gremlins today.
He dumped the biggest fish of the day, and on top of all of that, he nearly lost an upgrade fish just now.
Can he hang on? Only the scale will tell. Stick around. We'll be back for the weigh-in next on FLW Outdoors.
Phenomenal venue for this event, and the fishing has been exceptional. Let's take a quick look back at some of the exciting day 4 action.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, this is a good one.
That one will call.
Yes, babe. Get in there. About that, baby. Yes. Thank you, Lord. Number 5, baby. Number 5.
Boy, better watch out. Woo. That's the fish we need right there.
Now it's time to take it to the scales, Chris. Let's head to the Gallatin Walmart for the weigh-in action.
Well, it's come down to the moment of truth now.
That's all I can do. Man, I did the best I could. If it works out, it works out. If it don't, it don't.
It's a great turnout, and everyone's gathered around to get a peek at some big bags of Old Hickory bass. And the National Guard is getting the crowd fired up for the big show.
Thank you so much, ARLM.
First to take the stage is the leader after day 3, local Sam Lashlee. He'll assume the hot seat, and the first pro to challenge his lead is Lawrence pro Gary Klaus. It's going to be tight. He needs 9 pounds, 3 ounces to overtake Sam.
10 pounds and 6 ounces, 10-6. You'll take the lead from Sam Lashlee.
Gary Klaus knocks off Lashlee by 1 pound and 4 ounces. Pretty slim margin. Who knows how long Klaus can hold the hot seat. Next, it's Swab pro Art Berry. He needs 9 pounds, 14 ounces to take the lead.
9 pounds, 15 ounces. Your new leader is Art Berry. You'll take the hot seat, and that will eliminate Gary Klaus. Keith?
And Art Berry knocks off Klaus by just 2 ounces. Up next, Bounty Basic Pro Jacob Porosnik, and he's got a good-looking final round bag.
All you need to take the lead from the California Pro Art Berry is 9 pounds, 15 ounces.
See ya, Art.
5 bass. New leader, 13 pounds and 5 ounces. Jacob Porosnik takes the lead. Let's see your 2 best bass.
Next up is Yamaha Pro Matt Herron. He needs 13 pounds, 6 ounces.
Worth 9 pounds and 11 ounces.
But comes up short. Berkeley Pro David Walker is looking for 12 pounds and 13 ounces.
9 pounds and 6 ounces, so you'll come up a little bit short.
But here comes a big stick. Chevy Pro Luke Clausen. He's won well over $1 million in his short career, and he's a threat anywhere he fishes. Luke needs 12 pounds and 12 ounces to take the lead.
Now with that heavy weight, all you need to take the lead from the Virginia Pro is 12 pounds, 12 ounces. So it's Virginia versus Washington. Here we go, coast to coast. He needs 12 pounds, 12 ounces, 5 bass worth 12 pounds, 13 ounces. Your new leader, Luke Clausen.
And Clausen jumps into the hot seat in another 2-ounce squeaker. How much tighter can this race get? This is heating up to be a real barn burner with half the field yet to weigh in and some big fish waiting in the wings. Anything could happen. We'll be back with the $100,000 winner right after this on FLW Outdoors. FLW Outdoors is back and the final weigh-in from Old Hickory Reservoir is underway. Chevy Pro Luke Clausen is our current leader, with 5 anglers yet to weigh in. Can Clausen hold on? We're about to find out. Next up, veteran pro Woo Daves. No question he's a legend in the sport, but today will not be his day. Kellogg's pro Clark Wendland had fast action all day long, combing the marina with his spinnerbait and suspending minnow presentation. But are his dock fish enough to knock Clausen out of the hot seat? He needs 11 pounds and 8 ounces.
Here we go. 5 bass worth 9 pounds and 15 ounces. You'll be 1 pound, 8 ounces short.
Not today for Clark. Now only 2 remain to challenge Clausen's lead. Field and Stream Pro Michael Brown's aggressive bank cranking pattern put him in great position after 3 days. He's got a solid sack here, but I don't see any big fish.
5 bass limit worth 8 pounds, 10 ounces. 8
pounds will not do it, Michael. And now it's head-to-head. Luke Clausen versus day 3 leader, Sam Lashlee. Clausen has moved from 5th place after day 3 to 2nd here on day 4, beating out Porosnik by just 2 ounces. And if Luke hadn't been carefully culling his fish all day, who knows what the outcome could have been. In this case, those 2 little ounces earned Luke a minimum of an additional $30,000.
A few ounces. Need some more money.
This is exactly why it's so important for these pros to execute flawlessly. In the FLW Series event at Lake Lanier, Shin Fukai lost a fish that would have won him the tournament. Terry Baxay also dumped a heartbreaker on Lanier, a fish that would have definitely put him over the top.
Man! Can't hang myself on this, can I? Dang it!
Allowing Tim Farley to take home the $100,000 top prize. This is what it all boils down to. Every ounce counts. And now here on Old Hickory, Sam Lashlee could be in the same boat, having lost what may have been the biggest fish in the final round.
I knew better than that.
The pressure's on, Sam. You are the hometown favorite. Your family and friends are here cheering you on. So what's it gonna be?
You know, I know it's going to be close. I don't want to tip my hat or anything, but it's going to be real close. That's what I can tell you. It's going to mean the world to me if I win it, but if I don't, you know, I'm just blessed to be here. I'm blessed to have a wonderful family and friends that I've got, and I'm blessed to have Jesus in my heart, so.
Attaboy, Sam! Atta-way!
Bring him down. Here we go. Let's talk about Sam Lashlee's week on Old Hickory Lake. On day one, a limit worth 16.6. He was your day one leader. And then day two only had 3, but they weighed 9 pounds even. And then yesterday had the heaviest stringer of the tournament at 17 pounds, 10 ounces, has him up to 43 pounds even. Ready to weigh him?
What I need to win.
Are you ready to weigh him?
What do I need to win?
Are you ready to weigh him?
I'd rather get done with the misery here.
Are you ready to weigh him? Sam Lashlee, all you need is 5 pounds even. 5 bass limit worth 9 pounds, 10 ounces. Your champion, Sam Lashlee.
It's been a classic battle here on Old Hickory, the 3rd stop on the Walmart FLW Series Tour. We've witnessed extremes, from the soaring heights of elation to the heartbreaking abysses of agony, all in the name of bringing you the very best in pro bass fishing competition. Be sure to tune in next week when we bring you more world-class saltwater action from Fort Pierce, Florida on the Walmart FLW Kingfish Tour.